Hello, everybody. This is Susie. I'm here with Daniel. You know, we are both from the One Love Caravan movement. So, Daniel is a very devoted Pan Africanist and he does deep researches about African history and geopolitics. And lately, we've been involved with the so called African kingdoms, and we've been researching deeper into that. And today we're going to ask some questions to Daniel to dive deeper into the African kingdoms and specifically the kingdom of Bamum, located in the region of Cameroon, the so-called Republic of Cameroon. Hi, Daniel. Tell us a little bit about yourself
Yes.
and about your research on the Bamum Kingdom,
Okay.
Cameroon.
Hello everyone. My name Daniel. Yeah, and I'm grew up in Switzerland. Yeah, so I'm part. My mother is Swiss. I grew up having a Swiss nationality always. I born as a Swiss. Yeah, in 1989. So what happened is that my family on the Swiss side, yeah, because my father is from Portugal. He was an immigrant in Switzerland in the 80s, and that's why I'm mixed, yeah. So my Swiss family, they have a lot of money because of my grandfather. I already showed you this. I have videos here on the channel. Showing you who is my grandfather and why I left Switzerland with 19, because seriously, this is no future like this, with this exploitation, capitalism, racism, supremacy, and let's say it's all illegal. These states, they proclaim, like Switzerland and European Union and all these things, it's actually illegal because the people don't study the history. So that's why I went to Portugal with 19, and I just wanted to live like without any problems. But this is, you cannot run away from the problems, you know. So what really happened is that I always wanted actually to go to Africa. Okay, so again we representing Rastafari. Okay, so again, me as a let's say German from ethnicity, but I have Gypsy blood again. Gypsy again, we came from India, you know. Yeah, and all my family, we are mixed, multi-ethnical mix. So again, I would consider myself as a again a Rastafari from a culture, because that's the background. So we have here some questions now, very important issues, because for example, we have this individual here. Again, I showed you this in the last video, but again, so who is this individual? Okay, again, if I write his name in the Google, it appears immediately, as you can see, it appears the Wikipedia in French. And it appears that is ambacam.de, so this is German web pages, okay? And then it is, you have here the Wikipedia in German, okay? So what is actually, in my view, what is missing here, and Facebook and this and that. So we're talking about Roy Nabil Njoya. So what is missing here is the English Wikipedia page, in my view, because English is this international language, right? And you can see him. Unfortunately, I cannot, has no YouTube on this tablet. But if you go just to YouTube, okay, and you write his name, so Roy Nabil Njoya, I see if the images will show you. Look, if you go in the images, Google, so there is the videos from all these ceremonies, how you can see him here, all over the world. You can see, yes, you can see with so he's born in 90 something, so he's even younger than myself, right? And he's the king of Bamum, okay? This is in Cameroon. The king of Bamum, okay? So there is, just go to YouTube and you see the videos of all these ceremonies. You see him in the in the US, United States of America, Congress, promoting his kingdom. And he's saying that he's traveling all over the world, like a diplomat, like a king, and promoting his kingdom, and also for the diaspora.
So he even got an award. What was
yeah.
the award for?
So the award, yeah, we can just see how this award, Roy Nabil, he gained an award from the United Nations, so UN, okay, so Roy Nabil, His Majesty Mohammed Nabil Bombo receives MIMPAD 100 award in US Congress, he's saying. So UNICEF honors Sultan King Nabil Mbombo Njoya as a champion for children. Whoa. UNICEF stop blbalcam.com saying UNICEF honors Sultan King Nabil Mbombo Njoya as a champion for children. Okay, so United Nations, United States of America, Congress, and UNICEF, and it goes on and on. If it's just Roy Nabil, again, you can see things from the embassy, for example, Jeune Afrique, this and that. You can see that that they invite him to go to the Cameroon embassy in Berlin. And you can see him in the United States. You can see him having speeches, yeah? And everybody applauding. Right, okay. I already showed you, okay, where he's coming from, and I will show you again.
So, on your research, can you explain us a bit more? Because it says it's a king, he's an African king, but he's also a sultan, no?
Yeah, there is the confusion.
Can you
yeah.
go deeper into that?
So
what
again,
is his spiritual belief, and what is this kingdom about?
Yes. So here we go. Again, if I put his name, the English Wikipedia page will not appear. The first is the French one. Okay, because you must see this is a French francophone thing there. So this is controlled by again the French and the German, because this was the colonizers. Okay, and there's also the English, so that's why we have the English separatists, and that will come later to this, because we have Ambazonia and we have Biafra. And this would be the legitimate, the real countries. Biafra, Ambazonia, I will show you. And this is the fake. The fake thing, which is made by the colonialists, like, again, by the Germans, by the French. These people now, they put their kingdom, the West put their kingdom, they put their religion, they put their cult into African society, like this, okay? So it's very easy to understand, because again, you have this is the French Wikipedia. We can read it, we can speak French, no problem. And there is the German Wikipedia, which we also can speak German, so very well. We go just inside and we see what he's saying. So it's Nabil Bombo Njoya. He said he's reigning. He's saying, regiert das Volk der Bamum. He's reigning the Bamum in Cameroon since 2021 as a Sultan of Fumban and the fawn of the kingdom of Bamum. It's saying here, okay? So he's saying his life. So he's saying Nabil Mbombo Njoya is the oldest son of Ibrahim Mbombo Njoya. And 2004 he already they decided that he will be the successor, right? Then after the father, here is the father Ibrahim Mbombo Njoya. Okay, so he died in 2021 in Paris. It's saying, okay, born in 1937 in Fumbam and died in 2021 in Paris, right? So after he died, his son came to the throne, right? So before, again, this guy now, his father, Ibrahim Bombo Njoya, he was the son, and he was saying here actually, between 1970 and 1974, Ibrahim Bombo Njoya was an ambassador, a Botschafter of Cameroon in Equatorial Guinea. It's saying here. Afterwards, he made the same function in Egypt, okay? And after 1980, he had several minister occupation, like I say, was a minister in Cameroon. So this is politics, right? So this is a king, and he's making politics. He has army, he has legislation, jurisdiction, traveling all over the world, especially in the West, and promoting the kingdom, the Bamum kingdom, and talking to the diaspora to say, come to our kingdom, and live there and make with us business. So what they are doing, I'm telling you, I'm showing you, okay? So again, what he's saying here, that after the death of his father in August 1992, he was the Sultan from Bamum, and he died in 2021 in an American hospital in Paris, as a result as a COVID-19 infection, saying here, right? So again, it's the same thing, like the COVID-19, biggest crime, like this scene. It's like a farce. It's the pandemic. It never. And no one talks about this. Again, the West pushing illegality, and don't want to talk about the real stuff. So here we go. Ibrahim Bombonjoya, this one. So who was his father? You know. They don't really want to show you this. They don't really want to show you this. But again, it started with this one who was the king who converted to Islam. Yeah, supposedly these people are sultans now. But they weren't sultans before. They were he converted, yeah, to Islam. But they converted back to Christianity, and they involve everything. I say this is new age. They involve everything. And who is this actually? Again, it's the Germans, it's the Swiss, it's the French, it's the Americans who designed this. So it's nothing to do with real African tradition, first of all. So yeah.
Let me see if I understand right. They say they are like an African kingdom, but they are also Christian and Muslim.
Yeah, in the end, it's Satanism. Yeah, tell me. Ashanti?
I have also questions to my dad.
Please.
I say questions to my dad, that is, why Bamum Kingdom belongs to Bantu and...
All right, yeah, though, because there is, again, why I'm talking about these things, because we got personally attacked by these people. And because they do witchcraft, and I know who is doing this, because again, it's the Swiss, it's the Germans, later on, they made the whole Nazi philosophy, it's the same. The Nazi, it's like a religion, right? So they come with spirituality, they come with these sects, yeah? So and we get attacked by the people that are coming from Angola. I can show you this Elisei Kimwanga, and the king there in Cabinda, it's called Tadi. Tadi, I will show you Tadi again and after, and these people.
A man that is Savimbi.
Yeah, Savimbi from Angola, and all these things. It's all designed by the same colonizers.
So you think this is connected to Freemasonry, like
it is.
secret societies?
It is the Western Freemasonry
like
implied in Africa. That's it. That's how they get the slaves. That's it. Because as you know, Ashanti as a kingdom, and it means because of war. These African tribes, they would defend themselves against the colonizers. But some, they got corrupted even, yeah, that they support the colonizers. Again, this is Sultan Ibrahim Njoya, who supposedly, this is in Bamum, supposedly is his name, and he supposedly invented this script. Yeah, Germanized as Njoya.
He stealed Ashanti symbol.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They just invert everything, like the Catholic Church, actually. But I think they went there with, first of all, with missionaries, yeah, because if you study the history of Cameroon, again, the Cameroon, the name, it's coming from Portuguese Camarões. A camarão, it's a shrimp. Again, it's a shrimp, because this river there was full of shrimp. So they call the whole region after a shrimp. Then they come, the English come. The English, let's say, with the missionaries come. This is the first, let's say, before this was the Westphalia, Germany, the German Empire colonized areas. Then they come the English missionaries, evangelists. They come with the King James Version, right?
So Cameroon was a protectorate of Germany.
Again, then it goes from this British evangelist missionaries. It passes to the Germans. So the Germans now, I think, because they could not bring their version of Christianity, the British, there. So they called the Germans, also because the Germans, they would make studies. They would language studies, cultural studies, study.
Scientific.
Who is these people who study? It's the order of the Jesuits. So that's why the order of the Jesuits, the German, especially German Jesuits, German-speaking Jesuits, who are manipulating all these things, this New Age movement. The New Age movement, you can trace this back to, again, the Theosophic movement, but this after it took a satanic turn, because then you can see from England, like Aleister Crowley, and again, the Vatican, these Jesuits and all, they put all over world, like all these spiritual practices from the tribes they colonized, the West. Europe colonized the whole world, right? So they learned about every spiritual practice, and so they put everything together and turn it into satanic practice, and then they go back and sell it then as whatever, what church or what religion or this. So with Islam, this sultan here is saying sultan has nothing to do with Islam. Again, this is the one who turned into, let's say, he wanted to follow the Germans, and because of that, when see person and life again was born in the kingdom of Bamum. And he's saying here 1888, you see, he came of age and could ascend to the throne in 1895. 1895, you see. So we're talking about these areas. And what happened there? He helped to the German Empire. He helped the German Empire also to make genocide against other tribes there. So that's why here again, I will have to highlight this again, because this saying King Joya of Bamum receiving an oil painting of Kaiser Wilhelm II, the gift was in return for his support in German campaign against the Nso people. So Nso, what is the Nso people? The Nso people are from Bamenda, Grassfield, Northwest region of Cameroon. The traditional language is Lamso. Okay, and so this is a tribe, and this Ibrahim Njoya, he helped the Germans to fight against these people, and because of that, he received an oil painting of Wilhelm II, as a thank you. So they would put the Kaiser, the emperor of Germany. This was his emperor, his god. The god of Ibrahim Njoya was the emperor Wilhelm II. So that's nowadays. This is from the English Wikipedia. The grandfather, like it looks like the grandfather of the king nowadays. And if this is the grandfather, and this is the English Wikipedia. And if you see now the grandson, which is the actual king, there is no English Wikipedia, So there is the French and the German, and all this, it's designed that you cannot link this together. You cannot link. If you see, these are stooges of German. Again, we are representing Rastafari. Haile Selassie is the returned Christ, right? And he is the King of Kings, and the King of Israel, and the King of Kings of Ethiopia, and the King of all the African people. So he's the King of Kings. So again, the German Emperor, the Pope, they were so jealous and all this, they had to infiltrate everywhere. So again, Europe tried to infiltrate Ethiopia with religious, like the Jesuits said. That's why the story of Preston John, the Preston John. It was 800 years ago. You know, even like when Portugal was founded and all this. So there was a merging of new Christian kingdom here of the peninsula, and Ethiopia heard about this, so they called even the Portuguese as for helping in battle. So there is this whole story. Yeah? So Africa always resisted of spiritual infiltration, but in this case here of Cameroon, yeah, and the kingdom of Bamum, they could not resist. That's why you have nowadays this individual, which is the king, but they push, Western media push him as a king. They push him as, and he's administrator. Okay,
My
tell
mom
you.
wants to say something.
Yes, please.
This kingdom of Bamum, yeah, it exists since the time, or even before the time that the colonizers came to occupy Africa.
Sure. Yeah, the
Before
lineage.
or they-
Yeah. This is the traditional again. The fawn, and this again the chief of a tribe, and this is traditional from Africa. It's ancient, normal. But as soon as the German, the German Empire like comes in there, and this Ibrahim Njoya, he follows the German Empire. He's just like Jonas Savimbi or like other people nowadays. You have leaders were actually only supporting the West. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, yeah, when the German mindset entered there, language changes. They invented a language which is it's a secret society again. Western masonry entered there in Africa. That's why in Gabon and in Cameroon and these places you have this Western masonry in the politics. It's just Western masonry. What this is? Tell me.
Look, I want to make a question.
Yes, please.
I want to say that why Bamum Kingdom doesn't make good a part. They make some.
Yeah. Why you asking me why they make these rituals and why make they make witchcraft? What they do? They practice witchcraft. So again, the Germans, they enter there, they invent a whole new language, you know, like a secret society language. Look, I can even show you this. This is here. This is the life of this king now. Yeah. So here is saying that he studied in St. John's University, New York City, and then he goes back to Cameroon and he made an school here for École Nationale d'Administration de Magistrature in Yaoundé. So he studied in New York and in Cameroon, and then he worked as a Rechtsabteilung für den Gouverneur des Südregion Cameroon. So he's into politics, so he's governing things, you know? But why? Because the president of Cameroon supporting that. He is together with the president of Cameroon, yeah? And Cameroon is again, it's artificial, it's a company which does not represent no ethnic group, like no real African tradition. Because again, even the word it's a shrimp. It's like Gambia. The people of Gambia, it's because gambas, again, it's Portuguese and it's a shrimp. It's just a tiger shrimp. And how can now the people from Gambia doesn't exist. Gambia is inside of Senegal. Gambia, this is the same people like the people from Senegal. So there should be no country called Gambia at all. And the river also, it doesn't call river Gambia.
Why Gambia is Senegal?
Yes, so here we go. Again, so that's why we have here some serious questions, because if you write these people there, they appear top Wikipedia, this and that, zack. But if you really, Ambazonia, yeah, here we go. Ambazonia, okay. What is a official, registered and legitimate state, okay? And what is internet saying? Ambazonia. Ambazonia, alternatively the Federal Republic of Ambazonia or the state of Ambazonia, is a political entity, is saying, separatists who are seeking independence for Cameroon. The separatists claim that Ambazonia should consist, blah, blah, blah. So, again, they say in the Wikipedia that Ambazonia is not recognized. Ambazonia is, they say that Ambazonia is not recognized. We have another state, Biafra. What would they say? This is Biafra. So Biafra has now an official embassy in Washington, D.C. And this just happening just right now. But Wikipedia, listen, it's not even, let's say the English Wikipedia was partially, Biafra was partially recognized, blah, blah, blah. But they would not make updates. So if you really look the history, if you go here, there is no proper updates, because here it stops somewhere around last year, you know, like there is no updates. What is now really going on?
It's not the best source.
No, but I'm just telling you why. But, how they design this, that you don't get to the proper information. Yes, please.
I want to say that why they had also a man that it's Simon, is a good man,
yes,
from
Biafra. Here we go, Simon. Yes, please.
So can you please, just to understand, so what is the connection between the Republic of Cameroon, the Biafra, and the Ambazonia states or regions? Well, why is it connected with the kingdom of Bamum? So what is happening there? What is the connection between this African kingdom, supposedly, between all these other kind of movements claiming for recognition for land and sovereignty?
So what is the connection? Let's say, by myself, I grew up as Swiss, but I refuse that. I don't want to be linked with Confédération Helvética, with Switzerland, because Switzerland, again, is a criminal organization. So I have a world citizen passport, which is emitted by the World Service Authority, which is in Washington, D.C. And here we are, that's why we are here. We are in the newspapers in Ceuta. Ceuta is still a Spanish colony on African soil in Morocco, ex-occupied territory. There is a legal border in Ceuta since the 80s, made by the European Union. European Union, again, it's an illegal organization. Like these are the terrorist and criminal organization. They call themselves the government, the legitimate government, and they call the legitimate government and the human rights and all this, they want to push this away and call them the terrorists. So they put everything the other way around. Yeah. So I by myself, because I work with, again, sovereignty and all this.
This is international law.
International law.
Exactly.
After the, international law, it's the natural law, then you have the Human Rights Declaration and so on and so forth. Tell me.
I want to say just why Bantu Kingdom doesn't recuse some people of the good countries.
Yeah, again, why they don't, again, why they fight against, again, why Biafra, yeah, why it's being attacked by Nigeria, and why Ambazonia is being attacked by Cameroon, yeah, because these countries are artificial countries. Listen, just the name, it cannot be, the Gambia cannot be, and Nigeria, listen the name of it, Angola, it's the same, like what is that all about? So this is, they made companies. Again, we have here, for example, we have been in Ceuta, here in the newspaper, we are in Ceuta, and Ceuta is this, Delegación del Gobierno de Ceuta. So this is a company. Again, all these Western institutions all started with the slave trade and colonization, with this trading companies, right? So there is legitimate, again, kingdoms and republics and all this, which are registered, you know, because again, we have the human rights that came after the Second World War, and before there were other treaties, and there were the League of Nations and this and that. So would have to study law, okay? So by myself, because my father is from Portugal, right? And Portugal, again, Portugal and Spain, and this is, for me, is the anti-culture. Because we have the culture before, but it was Al-Andalus and all these things. So we have the Algarve. Algarve is the south of Portugal, which I would call Al-Harb Al-Andalus, yeah, but it is the west of Al-Andalus. So I have made my own passport, yeah? Again, I am as a sovereign, this is my family banner. It's World Diplomat, and it is from my family. This is the carob tree, as the carob tree is on the passport, okay? I made this by myself. That is not recognized and nothing official. This is just for my identification, and this is my artwork, and it is to give a statement. They say, okay, listen, Algarve, it was Portugal, and it was the kingdom of the Algarves. It was always separated. So when there was, in 1974, when Portugal get liberated from the fascist regime, the colonies, there would be the colonies like Angola and Cabo Verde, Mozambique, they got freed. So in Portugal as well, the fascist regime, it fall. So then there was the movement, the MIA, which is the movement of the independent Algarve in the 70s, who wanted then to have a own country, let's say, which is the Algarve. But this was all, let's say, shut down by Europe. Yes, tell me.
I want to say just why Bamum Kingdom also don't produce some things for Africa, for Ibrahim Traoré, for...
Why? Because again, they work for the West. What this is all about. They do rituals, and these rituals are very. It's rituals. It goes into sexual practices were not good. I don't want to tell too much because they would take away the video. After it's like this. But they introduced this kind of practices in Africa. This was before not known. Okay, so I by myself, again, I see they sell out their natural resources, yeah? They work with the West, so that the West can steal the resources, and for that, they give them all the material. They give them all the power, yeah? They give them all the power, and especially with women. Yeah, they make a whole lot of child trafficking and human trafficking in general. And again, where is the link between this in Cabinda, Angola, and this in Funfan there in Bamum Kingdom? Yeah, it's the same. The origin is there from Cameroon, and then they went down with this ideology, and they settled in Cabinda, which is the enclave in Congo, which belongs to Angola. So this is all has to do with the West exploiting, and so they put now, because they know the people in Africa, they will follow the spiritual leader. So then they made now this everything together. They make a king, which is a spiritual leader, which is so they want in Angola also. They make this. They started to be with a church, the Church of Truth, they call it. Then changed the name. They changed the name. Nowadays, it's like a school. They call it the Escola de Sabedoria Antu. It's a school of the wisdom. Yeah, and they say, come, like exactly like this there in Cameroon. Come.
We are gonna enseñar.
Yeah, we're gonna teach you. Come here. We're gonna teach you about. But this is all a lie. So we're gonna continue debunk that, because again, I by myself, I make then these nice things. I make a flag for Angola, like my design. You know, you see the Lion of Judah. You see hemp here. You see the Ethiopian colors. I have made my flag for the Al-Harb. You know, for the Algarve. So again, I make these movements. Yeah. it's just to spread awareness. Nothing of these things here I made is registered, right? But yes, the World Citizen Passport is
But
official.
it is valid. Everything
It's valid.
is
It's
valid
valid because it's
your human right.
It's my right to make my own
Yes.
documents and as a
It's
sovereign,
natural
right?
law,
Yes.
exactly.
But as now, no. I also didn't went to no embassy and I didn't ask for no stamp, but it's not yet recognized. But why not do these things? Now, if I talk really about the truth, again, Simon Ekpa, yeah, Ekpa Simon Nkoju is born in 1985, and he's saying here he's a Finnish politician and Biafran political activist. And if you really go now into the history, because this is happening just right now, that they wanted to frame him as a terrorist. They say he was in prison, like he was in Finland in prison, and there's this whole trials going on, but he, in the end, they didn't have nothing against him. It's just the media is lying and lying and lying and lying, and pushing the fake, the illegitimate government and all this. They push, and they don't talk about the real stuff. And when they talk about the real stuff, they say, this is a fake. They said about this passport in Ceuta. You know, the police, the Policia Nacional in Frontier, this is a fantasy. This is not a fantasy. Europe is a fantasy. Okay, Switzerland is a fantasy. Don't tell me that human rights and
And they take out the passport of my mom.
That's for sure. In Gibraltar, not even in Gibraltar, at the border from La Linea, from Spain to Gibraltar, UK, just because they saw my wife, which is a little bit brown of skin, with this passport, they took it away illegally. And that's how they do. They just steal and they. So what is going on here? Look, Simon Ekpa, Nigerian state opponent, Nigerian state ambassador of peace. Whatever, life and education and career activism, separatism, arrest and trial. It's saying here, arrest and trial, but it has not the proper update. It stops 2024, and is not saying nothing what is happening just right now. Okay? So, sometimes Wikipedia or Google and these people, very quick to show you the update, yeah? And sometimes they let years pass, and if no one claims nothing, they just don't talk about it. So thank you very much for watching this. We make a second part that the video doesn't get too long. See you soon.
Subscribe and share.
Yes,
Thank
I
you so
subscribe and
much.
share
Captain Ibrahim Traore.
and follow and support Captain Ibrahim Traore. Yes, I.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
Rastafari.